in between Magoply's landed, I guess, to get a good idea of what the reinforcements are going to be pushing through. Two guests have been established by Raquetball. He is going to have the economy to do the carrier switch. Now pushing in with, it looks like, some speed upgraded zealots. I think Magoply should very easily be able to push this back, though. As you can see, he's got these 3 tanks. Looks like a turret now for some passive detection. And also 2 Goliaths on the front door, as well as that burning comsat station. But this turret is going to make a difficult causeway even more difficult to press through, because again, if he ever decides to establish this gas, he's also got a lot of these mines that are very dangerous for his own troops should he push through. Raquetball, kind of a skeleton contained, though, at this stage. He's got the five Dragoons and Zealots, and it looks like he's now getting some Stargates up, also getting the Fleet Beacon upgrade. But he does have 2 bases established, compared to, well, also 2 bases, but also a kind of skeleton for Magoply. It's been harassed this entire time. He's just now getting his gas down. And again, I think this gas, because of those SCVs going back and forth, they can really interfere with troop movement. So finally establishing a few tanks and things like that. Let's get a good look. It looks like 98 supply, but keep in mind a lot of that supply is in these Stargates. Actually, it looks like only 8 of that supply is in these Stargates. Or yeah, I think, am I blinking? Or carrier's not 8 supply? I'm pretty sure they're 8 supply. Anyway, whatever. Mine's being cleared now for Magoply. He's trying to open up that front door. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Just the secondary is an absolute war zone here, an absolute mess. Units just kind of everywhere, siege tanks everywhere. Magoply, I can tell, is just completely thrown off his game. Dark Templar a little bit up in the forward position. Another expansion being taken by Raquetball. Raquetball continuing to pump out of 5 gates. He's getting his forge down as well to push the upgrades. Looks like he's upgrading weapons 1, and now is continuing, it looks like, to get some more of the carriers out. And a couple, no more siege tanks on that ridge, actually. So Magoply not using some of the advantage map artifact he could, but I think he's been a little bit distracted. It looks like he is expecting some sort of air attack here. He is getting that Charon booster upgrade, but I don't see him producing any Goliaths. Getting some additional factories down now. Looks like he's getting a science vessel, maybe going for a drop here. Alongside, we'll see if he goes for, I'm sorry, he's getting a science vessel. We'll see if he goes for a drop as well, because it would be a good thing to do out of this position. He's got the 2 armories. Looks like he's got that weapons 1 already, upgrading weapons 2 as well as his armory. Looks like he's finally got some forward detection that he can do at this stage of the game. And there's the dropship now, getting EMP as well. But 3 bases established, so honestly, I think Raquetball can, first of all, he's also got carriers. I think this game's well out of Magoply's hands. I don't think he is the anti-air. He's got a single Goliath in all these siege tanks, and already 3 carriers up. Let's see if they push to the secondary. And again, this is like the troop reinforcement problem I was talking about. Is it's hard to get through these. You can see all that kind of troop massacre that happens here, or the troop movement massacre that happens there. Looks like there's some zealots and Dragoons in position to guard this outside position. Looks like we're going to see some a vulture harass, though, on the main. So going to load up with actually 2 tanks. So a 2 tank drop and another science vessel being produced. I guess more in anticipation of arbiters, but also to help deal with those Dark Templar. We'll see if it's going to be a combo attack on that front door with these tanks along the rear to be just that much more. Only a single, looks like only a single cannon here in the background to assist. Weapons 1 is being upgraded. Tank's going to be able to go in. And it looks like, yeah, they're going to be able to go all the way to the south end. Not going to actually drop on top of the ridge. It looks like they're going to drop down below and going to be able to siege up and get a couple probe kills. And it looks like 2 Templar pushing in. I don't know. It doesn't look like either of them has enough for a Psy Storm, though, so they're just going to get wiped out. And looks the carrier is going to come in, though, and clean this up. And that's got to make Magoply's stomach sink. He's only got a single Goliath on his front door. Looks like he's producing some additional Goliaths now, so at least he's going to have some degree of an early warning system. But he knows he's got to push at this stage, and it looks like, yeah, he's got some sense that he's starting to push now across that front door. And we'll see if he can break it, because he does have a significant ground force. He does have the upgrade advantage. More carriers starting to be pumped now. So if he slow pushes this, considering he does have a level 1 weapons, level 1 armor advantage, level 2 weapons should be up in not too long, he could really effectively push on this. But Raquetball with a single zealot clearing almost all of those mines, and I'm using a second cleanup right here and pushing the rest of those Dragoon. Beautiful micro here from Raquetball, I've got to say. That front tank did not last long, even with that shield upgrade. So Magoply losing a lot of forces here. Looks like the carrier is coming in for support over the secondary as well. And now he can back off, feeling that he's sufficiently hampered that front door attack force. Looks like he's also got a Templar in the background here. Siege Tank's continuing to push. Magoply's going to keep pushing this because he knows this is his opportunity to really take the game. But it looks like a Psystorm. No Psystorm going off at this stage. A Templar just running away. There, it got the Psystorm just before it died. But this is kind of the story right here, is these carriers over the secondary. There are a significant amount of Goliaths to fight this off, but I don't think it's enough. And Magoply, and I think as long as Raquetball keeps up with this macro, which it looks like he's doing, he's just got so many bases up, putting down some additional cannons, producing some additional carriers. Magoply just needs to push right now and attack everywhere, and it looks like he's in position to take additional expansions instead, and try to do as much damage as he can while trying to defend his secondary with those Goliaths. It's just a really difficult job for him. And I think that Weapon 1 upgrade is finished for those carriers, so it just makes it, and just abusing the map now, coming around to the south where it's difficult to defend all this territory with just Goliaths. Goliaths gathering up in the middle. We'll see if they're going to go for a flank attack. They're going to. I think there's an EMP within that science vessel, which could really assist with this if he does manage to get an EMP across. Looks like those carriers are pushing up now across. Then some looks like some Zealots and some Dragoons meeting these Goliaths on the front door. Keep in mind that's level 2 weapons upgrade. It looks like he is going to be able to push to the 6 o'clock location, at least wipe out the additional carriers from being produced. Pushing in now, but now the Zealots coming in from behind. Looks like a couple carriers engaging alongside. Mines trying to be let in, but it looks like it took out a lot of Dragoons, and the rest of the carriers coming back to squash this Air Force. We'll see. I think the X factor here, again, is going to be the EMP. Looks like one carrier has been taken out. There's just too many carriers for this attack force to stop. But at least Magoply's created a bit of a distraction to keep his base functioning at this stage. So, and we'll see what he can do here. He's going to be able to take that cannon out for sure, but will he be able to take out that Nexus, focus fire that Nexus, or something else along the meantime before these carriers wipe him out? It looks like the answer to that is an emphatic no. Those carriers coming in, destroying everything very quickly, and it looks like, yeah, I think with that, Raquetball's pretty much sealed this game. Pretty good, and wow, all sorts of turrets up on that secondary, creating just an absolute disaster as far as tanks and Goliaths trying to get into the middle of the map. Looks like more Goliaths though, pushing towards the middle, and it looks like they've got a science vessel alongside. Does have a bit of energy. Gonna push up, and he is gonna. Looks like he's gonna run up, do an EMP, which is really gonna help out. But there's already some units underneath. EMP the wrong grouping because there's a lot of Templar underneath to do some Psystorming. So, and it looks like Magoply taking the 12 o'clock and upper left-hand base in the meantime. Psystorm going off in the middle of the map. A couple of them empty, but still catching a lot of the Goliaths. And there's still plenty of Zealots underneath to take care of that tank, as well as a lot of, and still some Psystorm to take care of those Goliaths as well. So Magoply is just, he doesn't have anything to stop this now. He's got too many Goliaths, not enough rest of the forces, not enough anything else, I should say, rest of the forces. Level 1 weapons has been upgraded on the ground, an Archon being morphed as well, carriers pushing up on the secondary. And Magoply, yeah, has nothing but Goliaths and some turrets to try to stop this. So it's going to be free kill day for these for these Zealots and these carriers up above. Templar already in position, it looks like, to do some additional support Psystorm if need be, but honestly I don't think it's going to be needed. At this point, Raquetball can just kind of sit that troop grouping there, continuing macro up. Looks like he's getting some additional gateways down. Magoply does have pretty good SCV saturation at the 12 o'clock location, but honestly it doesn't matter when your main is going down. So looks like the Archon's starting to push up, do a lot of damage. Going to be able to do some splash damage off that tank and take out some of those. Tank getting Psystorm on top of everything else. Another Archon morphing in. Going to be able to take out a lot of these turrets underneath, and these turrets are all that's stopping anything. Able to EMP those carriers again to at least keep the shields down, but Magoply at the stage, he's having to produce both tanks and Goliaths and Vultures to try to fight, and keep his front door protected, and he needs to be just producing straight Goliaths at this stage, so he's going to end up having to GG here momentarily. Did that make any sense? I don't think that made any sense. He needs Goliaths to fight off the carriers, but there's enough support ground troops underneath for Raquetball that he also needs to keep producing these tanks just to keep the ground forces from spilling in. So as a result, he's caught where he has to produce everything at once, and as a result, going to pull these SCVs off the line. These carriers just going to have a field day with everything on the ground here. And that's going to be GG right here. Raquetball is going to take game 1 on BGH. I'll go to game 2 momentarily. And good job from Raquetball. So beating a A- player. I'm not sure what rank Raquetball's at, but still, good game one. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Once again, donate at se2gg.com/endurance. Thanks for listening, guys.